Welcome back to episode 3 of Couch Co-op. I'm Josy. This is...
Johnny.
And we are here to talk about food.
Yep. Today's topic is food, and I'm particularly excited about this topic, mainly because I've been kind of in my Puerto Rican groove. As from time of recording, I think like maybe a few days ago, I made some Puerto Rican rice and some pork chops. Puerto Rican name, arroz con gandules con chuleta. That's what it is. It was really good. I think for my first time, it was really good.
It was very good.
I did call my mom, and she kind of walked me through it a little bit, so it wasn't like completely like unguided. Um, but I mean, I think it was okay. I think for me, my criticism for it was like um, I didn't put enough like salt based like seasoning into the rice.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I put the sofrito, sazon, etc., etc. But like, um, those are Hispanic seasonings, by the way, for those who don't know. But they're usually pretty high in sodium, and the for some odd reason the rice didn't really feel like it had a lot of salt in it. So maybe I'll add like maybe a pinch of salt or something next time. But other than that, I mean, when you mix it in with the pork chop, because the pork chop absorbed all that sodium from the seasonings I used on it, and mix it in with the rice, beautiful.
It was really good. I think I'd rather have had it been like that than over salty, because really salty rice, you can't fix it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to over salt it, but I'm saying like kind of like balance it out more. So
Yeah.
like put more salt in the rice itself, and then less salt seasoning, I guess, on the meat itself.
Yeah.
Because like when I tasted the pork chop by itself, it tasted like it had a little bit too much saltiness to it, and then the rice had too little. So like it balanced each other out, sure, but like I want it both equally to be balanced. You know.
I know what you mean. You did a really good job, though. It was delicious.
I'm glad, it was damn near my mom's. It was really close.
Yeah.
And it kind of like when I was smelling it, of course, like I'm cooking right now, by the way, so there's going to be a moment where I get up and check the food to make sure it's not, burning the house down. But like even right now, like I can smell it, and it smells like home.
Yeah.
It smells like I'm growing up, and it just reminds me of like all of my favorite foods that my mom used to make growing up. So like, you know, what of course, like in a Hispanic household, rice is with everything. You eat rice for lunch, you eat rice for dinner.
Yep.
You eat rice with meat A, B, C. You eat rice with everything. So it was really good. Yeah.
I loved it a lot, and I like how
Our cat's sneezing. I don't know if it's getting picked up on the mic, but our cat is going ballistic
sneeze
downstairs. It's not getting picked up. I can see the audio. But anyway, just keep going.
I like how in Hispanic households growing up, rice can be a side, or for us, sometimes it was just the main.
It's just the main dish. It's just the main, like, because the thing is, like, you would make a pot of rice, and that would last you for like a week. Mm-hmm. Especially if you had the really big pots of rice, it would last you a week. And it like so in when it comes to making Puerto Rican rice, you can't just use an everyday pot. There's a specific type of pot. Don't know what it's called. Sorry. But it is a specific type of pot that you have to get for all the seasonings to kind of mesh well together. I have that pot. It's my family heirloom. My mom passed it down to us, and told us to keep it because she has a bigger one. But yeah, like getting one of those big pots is hard in itself, in my opinion. But like, the rice was everywhere. It was in every single dish.
Yes.
And if you didn't have rice, it was just like a lazy day.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to make anything.
I personally liked ketchup in the rice.
You're one of those.
Yeah.
I never liked ketchup and rice. I think it's funny because me and the guys are actually talking about this the other day. I think that ketchup is way too overpowering of like a condiment to just put on everything. And with rice specifically, it was like that. Like I didn't want to taste ketchup in my rice because my rice already had that tomato flavor to it. So I never really liked ketchup in it. I'm not knocking you for it. Like it's not a sin against humanity because a lot of people do that. Mm-hmm. But I'm not a big fan of ketchup and rice.
Honestly, I had to be in a certain mood to do it
Mm.
because I usually don't. But I get in these certain. I have to be in a certain mood. Like, oh, I want to put ketchup in this rice this time, because it just like, especially, I noticed when the meat is on the drier side, I'll put ketchup in the rice
Mm-hmm.
because it just like kind of like kicks everything up and makes everything less dry. But I like it with ketchup. We ate it bare growing up, gandules. Sometimes what are the not the green ones, the pale ones. The are they called
Pale ones?
pigeon peas?
I just call them gondolas.
No,
They're
those
all
are
just
gandules.
beans.
I'm talking about garbanzos.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes grandma would do them with garbanzos. Sometimes with like bacon bits.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes with olives, salchichas, everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I was gonna put salchichas on ours, but we didn't have any, surprisingly, because you eat those bitches raw.
So good.
Disgusting.
So
It's
good.
so nasty.
It's so good.
They're fine in foods, but by themselves,
They might not know what salchichas are.
So salchichas is just a Spanish term for Vienna sausages.
Yep.
You know what Vienna sausages are. If you don't, you've lived a privileged life. But anyway.
No, I love those. I love the chicken ones.
I didn't know there was different types.
Yes.
That's disgusting.
The ones I eat are I believe they're mixed meat.
You're not making this any better for yourself. So
there's different types. There's one that's like pork chicken, like mixed meat, and then there's one that chicken chichas, and then there's different like meats. And I tend to lean towards the ones that have a lot of different ones in one.
I guess. Again, I think it's nasty. It's fine to put it in something, but by itself, it's just not a good idea.
Yeah.
Was detected at your front door.
Thank you, Alexa. I appreciate that. But I mean, I feel like you kind of ate that growing up, so like you kind of got used to it.
Yeah, it was a comfort meal, and so was like Spam growing up. What else? Just a lot of Puerto Rican food, just acapullas.
Oh yeah.
Chuletas, rice, pasteles. I know it's not Puerto Rican, but enchiladas.
I mean, it's Hispanic food.
Hispanic,
like,
yeah.
It like my house wasn't limited to Puerto Rican food specifically. It was Hispanic food.
Yeah.
So like my mom would make tacos. She would make enchiladas. She would make a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like again, rice was a staple with every single thing, you know. And I mean, it was one of my favorite things growing up. Like I loved rice. I still love rice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever I go visit mom every now and then, I cherish that rice because it's so good, you know? And especially now that we're older, like it's a rare thing to eat it. So I'm hoping and like trying to perfect it myself so that way I can make it a staple in our household. But yeah, man, growing up, some of my favorites were like, of course, rice, right? But empanadas, so good. Aren't they called pastelillos or something like that too?
My grandma calls them pastelillos.
It's weird because like some people call them pastelillos and some people call them empanadas.
Yeah.
You know, I call them empanadas. That's what my mom called them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what I grew up with. But yeah, like I think empanadas are still my
I
favorite.
think they're one of my favorites too.
Especially when they're nice and flaky. The
Yeah.
orange ones.
I like the orange ones.
Oh
my
god, so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Acapullas and empanadas are my favorite. And I like to eat the acapullas with ketchup as well.
That's different though, because acapullas are potato based.
And I like to eat pasteles with ketchup as well.
As I don't really think that's that like
Everyone in my
weird
family
though.
does.
But I don't think that's weird because like I've heard people that are like outside of my family and stuff that like them with ketchup. So I don't really think that's too bad. Because they're like the taste of it itself on the outside is blandish because it's mesa, it's dough, right? But the inside, of course, the meat is seasoned, right? So I think the ketchup is fine to kind of get over that like doughy part of it.
Yeah.
But like, you know, pouring the ketchup inside of it, that's wrong. That's a sin. But you know, but yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of stuff growing up that like I don't like now. You know, because our palates change as we grow up, right? Like
yours has changed in a way where you've become more picky.
Yeah, I've definitely become more picky.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like when it comes to
But at the
Puerto
same time,
Rican,
you haven't become more picky.
I think it depends on the type of food,
Yeah.
right? Because Puerto Rican food, I eat almost everything, right? And some stuff like, even if it's not my favorite, I'll still eat it, right? I don't names aren't really popping up into my head right now, but I know that for a fact. Whereas like what American food, or I guess like regular food, because American food is kind of weird, but you know, like for example, growing up, my mom, you know, whenever she didn't want to cook, she worked 2 jobs growing up. Shout out, mama. You know, she worked her ass off. And hi Maya, are you on camera? I can't tell. I think you are, but
No, just
say hello to Maya. She's a little off. She's over here. I said hi to her, but you might see her ass. She's not listening. She's grumpy today.
Yeah.
But where was I? Oh, so yeah, like, you know, when I was growing up, I had a lot of chicken nuggets, right? Chicken nuggets and macaroni growing up. I cannot eat a freezer nugget to save my life now.
Yeah.
It literally makes me feel sick.
Yeah.
Another thing that it kind of changed early on for me, but oatmeal. I used to like oatmeal.
I love oatmeal.
Now I can't stand it. I hate the smell of it, which is weird because most people love the smell of oatmeal.
Oh yeah, oatmeal
You know?
and coffee in the morning.
Yeah, people love that smell. I just don't. I think it's because I don't like oatmeal. So when I smell it, it automatically like makes me like turned off from it. You know, because your smell and your taste are linked. So, but yeah, I think I've definitely become more picky. And I think that's because I've given myself more choices when it came to food instead of just like whatever was made.
Yeah.
You know.
I've also noticed though that you've started to like things that I don't think that you liked before. Things
Like what?
like Brussels sprouts, asparagus.
I've always liked that type of stuff.
You've always liked it?
My mom has had a really good balance when it came to making food. So it was always like, of course, the rice or whatever. Then it was the meat, and then there was a veggie. We always had a veggie with us.
Yeah.
So I love Brussels sprouts. I love asparagus. I like greens. I don't really care for spinach all that much, but it's mainly a texture thing. But it all depends on how you season it.
I feel like I've put you on to some things, but I just can't think of them right now. Like some things that you didn't like, but now you like them because like the way I made them or something like that. But I can't remember.
I'm not sure
what things you've began to like.
I mean, I know that there's stuff that I like that you make, but
are there any things that you didn't like as a kid that you like now?
I don't think so.
Like you used to say "ew" as a kid, but now you're like, "That's good."
I'm trying to think. I don't really think so. Because I mean, I feel like the same. Like I've eaten kind of the same stuff throughout my life. Like I haven't really ventured out too much. I think I'm more open to actually trying different types of food. Even though I'm picky, I feel like I'm more open to trying stuff that's newer to me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a weird like duality, because like I'm picky, but I'm open to trying something that I've never tried before. You know, usually those don't mesh well together. But yeah, I don't really think so. Nothing's really coming to mind for me personally. But I was gonna ask you, like, what were some of your favorite foods growing up that like now you don't touch them?
Honestly, it's only the frozen stuff. So the freezer nuggets, the frozen burritos, the taquitos,
That's a good one, because I used to love taquitos growing up.
Yep.
Now they're not terrible, but I just can't eat them.
Yeah, those are the only things I guess can't stand now, because everything else remained the same. I still love Spam, salchichas, mac and cheese. It's only that familiar like fast frozen taste.
Yeah, I think a lot of frozen stuff is kind of like died out for us, because we're just like, when we were kids, it's fine, because as kids, like, we would eat anything as long as it's food, you know, and it's a taste to it. Yeah. So like, you know, it's fine as a kid, but yeah, I feel like there's some stuff that has definitely not changed, that has been constant. Like, you know, I love saltine crackers.
Oh yeah.
I will neck a sleeve of crackers like in one sitting.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't even know. It's not really even like a Puerto Rican thing, but I feel like it's in a lot of Puerto Rican households. But crackers and butter. Oh my God, it was especially good when I think it's Keebler, the giant green tin of crackers.
Yep.
Oh my god, I would.
Don't be in the coffee.
Oh, I would devour. I didn't really mess with coffee that much, but you're gonna probably hate me for this. I feel like I told you this before, but I had crackers and butter once and dipped them in hot chocolate.
Yeah, I remember that.
It banged. It was so good, and it seems so disgusting. I will eat that today. It's so good.
Also, just bread and butter in general,
Bread and butter, but I think it's everywhere.
With my grandma, she would do the French bread with butter, like cut it in slices and stuff. She would do that for breakfast, or she would do the crackers and butter for breakfast with her little coffee, her little Cafe Bustelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like her like go-to breakfast, and it's a good one because it's light, but it's something in your stomach in the morning, first thing in the morning too when you wake up. So that's another thing that's changed for me, by the way. I used to hate cereal growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of surprising because now, like, we actually just had this experience. You bought 2 boxes of Oops All Berries, and they were gone within, like, 2 weeks.
Yep. It's just funny. Excuse me. Because growing up, I couldn't stand it because we always had it. So Mom was always like, before school, she was like, "Oh, pour yourself some cereal," and I just didn't want it because it always had cereal or waffles too. I did not.
That's
like the waffles.
crazy to
No,
me.
I did not like it because we always had it, and it was always make yourself a waffle or make yourself.
I guess
cereal.
that's different though, because like you ate it like almost every day. So
Yeah.
I think in that aspect it's different than just not liking it, because you just didn't like eating it every single day.
Yeah, it only changed when I met you. Because you were a big fan of waffles and cereal.
Oh yeah.
So naturally, because you were eating it, I started to eat it too, and I'm like, this ain't too bad. And now I don't have an issue. Like, I actually enjoy eating it.
Well, it's weird that you say that. And I gotta check the food in a second. So after I finish this statement, there's gonna be a brief pause. I'll edit it out and everything, so that way it's not so super long for you guys. But it's kind of interesting to say that because a lot of the cereals I like, you don't. Like, you like all the sugary, sweet stuff. Like, you love Lucky Charms. I despise Lucky Charms. You know, I like stuff like mini wheats and honey bunches of oats. And you'll eat them, but they're not your favorite. Like, you would never grab that by yourself. Like, Honey Nut Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios is a different story for us, though, because that got ruined for both of us because our cat Milo, the gray one, he might have popped up before. I don't remember. But when he was younger, when he would take a shit, it would smell like Cheerios.
Exactly, like rotten Cheerios.
So that got ruined for us. I still eat them every now and then, but I don't touch them as much.
Yeah, no, I can't do it. I don't know what it is. It doesn't smell like it anymore. It was just the baby phase. It smelled like Cheerios. It was disgusting.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to have a brief pause here for a second. Hold that thought. Be right back. We're back. Food turned out fine. It's a little hot right now, so we're gonna wait for it to cool down before we, eat and stuff. This time I made like a beef soupish. It's kind of like gisao. It's not really though, 'cause I don't have any like potatoes and stuff like that. But it just goes over white rice. It's good. It smells really good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about cereal and like how I have a lot of cereals that I like that you don't really mess with all too much.
Yeah.
And it's kind of shocking that I introduced you to those things, because I remember like you were not that big of a breakfast person at all. Like, I had to ask you to eat breakfast because I firmly believed that, like, when we first started out, I didn't skip breakfast. I had breakfast every single day. It wasn't good breakfast, but it was breakfast. Back then when we were in college, like, we had a Chick-fil-A at our school that was like part of our meal plan, and is the main reason I have all this right here, because I ate Chick-fil-A every single day, and then we also had a Pizza Hut that was associated with our school, and I had Pizza Hut every single night for dinner because they had wings. They were really good, but look at me now. But yeah, like, it's kind of shocking to me because that also changed for us now. Like, you eat breakfast almost every day.
Yeah.
Like, you try to make yourself some waffles real quick or have a bowl of cereal, and then you head out. And then for me, like, I guess I kind of eat breakfast because I wake up late, but I wake up later, so it doesn't really feel like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like because I work overnights, I usually don't wake up until like 1 o'clock
Yeah.
for the most part. There are days where I wake up earlier, around like 11:30ish, 12, but I usually don't really eat until around like 1 o'clock ish or around that time, just because that's when I'm used to waking up, and I don't like to eat right away when I wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So that also kind of changed as we like grew together. And that's not even that super long of a time. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like what we're together what 6 years now,
Yeah.
going on to 7 soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy, how like even our eating habits have changed since we've been together. Like I used to eat 3 meals a day every single day, and now I eat like maybe once or twice
Yeah.
a day.
I don't know if that's a good.
It's not. It's definitely not a good thing.
Yeah.
Do not do that. You should definitely eat the amount of calories you are supposed to eat, because you can experience a lot of weight gain because your body will be in like survival mode because it's not gonna know when your next meal is gonna come, sort of thing. That's what the scientific thing is, right? So that's kind of what I have because my body fluctuates in weight. But yeah, having an inconsistent eating schedule is not good. But I'm hoping that, kind of circling back, me learning how to make all these different foods and really exploring that cultural aspect. Because in Puerto Rican culture, food is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of like an inside joke in Puerto Rican communities that like, if you're not a fatso, like you're not eating good.
Mm-hmm.
Like most Puerto Ricans are either super skinny or super big.
Yeah.
Like there's an in between, of course, right? Like I'm exaggerating, but like that's usually how it boils down to. And if you're not like, if you're not like on the beefier side, it's assumed that you're not eating a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just a big part of our culture is to eat. Just all the high sodium. There's so much sodium in our foods
Mhm.
too. It's salt because sazon, adobo, sofrito, all that has sodium base to it.
Oh yeah.
So all of it is just fattening.
Yeah.
But oh my god, is it addicting? Puerto Rican food
Yeah.
is so addicting.
It's not even the culture. It's not even all about the food. It's just like the process of cooking it and
Mhm.
sharing it with your family
Mhm.
and bonding over it, and like their love language is like filling your belly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. It's kind of it's part of the community in that sense too. Like it's not just the flavors and the diversity of our food. It's also, like you said, like the community of coming together and making food together.
Yeah.
Like like coming over for dinner is like a common thing, right?
Mhm.
And having friends over for dinner and eating dinner together, like there's really not like a ordering pizza thing. Like sure you can if your mom's exhausted or whatever, but
Mhm.
like an honorable guest comes over, right? Like you're cooking,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and it's like an insult to grandma if you don't, get your full plate, 2 plates, 3 plates. So.
yeah. Jocelyn's grandma is like like food is her love language for sure.
Mhm.
And like I said before, like I only eat like once or twice a day. Like even though I'm a bigger guy, my appetite has reduced a lot from growing up. Um, so like as of before, I would eat like 4 or 5 plates of food. Now I can maybe have two,
Mhm.
and that just depends on the food and how hungry I am, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, the food that we just made, right? I'm gonna be taking it to work, or I'm gonna have some before work, um, as well. But like I'm most likely that's gonna be all I eat
Mhm.
for the rest of the night, and that's fine with me. But again, for your grandma, like she gets sad
Yeah.
if I don't like if we eat beforehand, we are making her upset.
Yeah.
Because every time we come over, every time we visit, she's making food.
Yeah. So you either have to not
me.
eat for the day, or you have to don't tell her you ate before, and then
And force it down.
just force it down and act like you're hungry, which just ends up which I've done before, and you just end up feeling sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Maya?
How about you, Maya? What would you like to say? She says that she likes kibble.
Yeah, kibble is her favorite, especially Purina.
Purina Tender Selects.
You sound like a spokesperson.
Purina Tender Selects with a blend of salmon and chicken.
Salmon.
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 Salmon and chicken.
Salmon.
This is not sponsored.
However, if you guys do want to sponsor us, we're not gonna be opposed to it.
We can show that these really like the food. That they really like it because of the size of them.
He said, "Look at the size of them."
Yeah, we can advertise Purina.
Yeah, we got this.
Obviously, they don't let no cats go hungry.
She's just staring at you. I don't know if you guys can see her eyes because she's just dark, but her pupils are huge because we mentioned her food.
Because Maya is a big fan of food. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like when it comes to your grandma, like it's a prime example of what food means to our culture.
Yeah.
It's a prime example. Because it's not that it's an insult to her, because I don't really think that we're insulting her. I think it's more just like, oh, they're not accepting my love, so now I'm sad.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like offering someone like a piece of you almost. It's like...
Mm-hmm.
It's like her version of like giving a hug almost.
Yeah, it's her love language.
Yeah, her love language. And so when someone rejects that, she takes it very.
Mm-hmm.
She takes it to heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Yeah, she thinks that you are rejecting her.
Yeah.
Not that you're rejecting the food, because it's a part of her.
Yeah, because she puts her love into the food.
Mm-hmm.
And her blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, your grandma slaves in the kitchen.
Yeah, she finally hands it to someone, and they say no. Like, I'd be hurt too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, your grandma cooks. It doesn't matter what condition it is in. Mm-hmm. Like, when we went to your brother's place, maybe I want to say like a month ago, and your brother's apartment is extremely small, right? It's like a 1-person, 1-bedroom apartment that has like. Maybe 900 square feet. Maybe it's probably less than that, but it's small, right? His kitchen is minuscule. He has a small, tiny oven.
Toy stove.
It looks like a toy. It's in the corner of the kitchen, and we came over. Her grandmother had like 5 pots on there cooking.
She's using all the burners.
She was using all the burners, and she was telling Josy like, I'm so aggravated with this stove. Yeah. And we're like, you didn't have to cook.
And she was like swapping them out because she had so many things on that little stove.
Oh yeah.
And that's just another thing. I think that we talked about before. Sorry.
You're fine.
Being able to make something out of nothing too.
Yeah.
Because Ellie is my brother. Is a guy. He doesn't cook. He's young, so he doesn't have many groceries in the house because he likes to eat out a lot. Mm-hmm. So grandma can come over, or even if she can come over here, find a couple ingredients and just make a meal.
Yep. Or she will drag you to the store.
Yeah.
She will make you get in the car, even if she just pulled up to your house.
Yep.
She'll be like, "What do you guys got to cook? Oh, we only have this, and this. Oh, that's not gonna work. Take me to the store right now."
Yeah.
Yeah. And she doesn't care. She will drag you around. Your grandma loves shopping regardless, but when it comes to food, she is quick.
Yes.
Because she knows what she wants. And I kind of want to get to that point too with my cooking. Is I want to get to a point where I don't have to premeditate what I'm going to cook. I just look at what we have real quickly. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna make this.
Yeah, like, oh, I can make this out of this.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Like, I want to be able to do that and like just know what I need. Like, go to the store and be like, okay, to make this, I just need like 2 more tomatoes and this. And
yeah.
Because I'll go with like. We have to go with like lists every time we want to make a recipe.
Every time we want to make a recipe, we go online to whatever blog post. and just find a recipe, which is fine, right? Like, it's okay to have a recipe book or follow specific recipes. That's fine, you know. But what I like to do is I like to try to add my own personal spin to it. So, for example, you know, these Johnny cakes, right? So I have a pancake recipe that I found that I can make pancakes from scratch from. However, I moved a few measurements around, added a few of my own ingredients to make them my own. Like, I make these super thick, fluffy pancakes that are amazing. I haven't made them in a bit, actually. I haven't made them in a while.
Got them in Nashville, so I haven't had them in like a year.
Don't start. Don't start. Okay. We went to Nashville with a couple of our friends, and it was a promise from me to make them some Johnny cakes.
And I didn't get any.
She didn't get any because I didn't buy enough ingredients. Wait, hold on. I did give you some.
I never got to eat.
I didn't get any.
I didn't get any either.
I think you're lying. I think you're capping.
So I don't know who.
I would not feed you over my friends.
I woke up. Everyone already ate them all.
I swear, there's no way.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't do that to you.
No. Yes way. I didn't have any pancakes in Nashville.
Either way, I can make these good pancakes, so I'll make them for you. I'll make a batch just for you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I swear I gave her some, but I could be wrong, you know. No. But
anyways, I feel like that's where a lot of recipes come from. Just people taking from other people and then adding their own spin to it, and then it becomes their recipe.
For sure.
Happens over and over again.
Yeah, like that's what I want to do with the rice, right? Like I have the ingredients. I know how to make the rice now. It's not memorized completely. Like I have still my notes that I took, but because I tasted it and I'm like, okay, it feels like it's missing this. Now I feel like I can start adding stuff to it. Yeah, you just
keep adjusting it.
Keep adjusting it, you know. And there's gonna be bad batches, right? Like it's trial and error, and that's kind of what gives me anxiety about cooking. Sometimes is I don't want to mess up our food, because then we're not gonna want to eat it. You know, like at least for me personally, like I have anxiety whenever I cook. Like she can tell you every time I make something in the house, I have her eat first and test it out, and I like sit there like I'm on fucking MasterChef waiting for her response about my food. Yeah. You know, and I'm afraid that it's not going to be good, you know. Yeah. And that's kind of one of the main like things that kind of demotivates me from cooking is that it's scary to know that your entire meal is in your hands. Maya, do not. Okay, she was looking at your food and looked like she was about to jump into the bowl. But anyway, yeah, and I mean, of course, like there's also the aspect of like cleaning up, right? Like I hate doing dishes. Oh yeah, it's one of my least favorite chores. Just because like whenever I do dishes, I get so into it. Like you know this, like you've put stuff in the dishwasher and like seen like little specks. I'm like, oh, that's whatever, you know. But for me, like if I see a tiny little speck of anything, I will scrub that whole thing all over again. I know. You know, and it takes like for us, like just our small sink. If it's full of dishes, it will take me about an hour and a half. Yeah. To fully clean those dishes, and we have a dishwasher. Yeah. You know, so it's just part of that meticulous process for me.
It's just cooking is a whole process. Which is why sometimes I'd resort to just ordering food and buying food.
Well, you have an excuse in my opinion.
I'm guilty of.
You have an excuse in my opinion though, because you work and you go to school, so like for you to not have the energy to cook is okay for me. You know, my only concern with us ordering is of course the money, right? Because ordering food is super expensive. You know, there's delivery fee, there's the actual fee for the food itself, and food itself is not cheap, you know? And that also drives us to having bad eating habits of what we eat, you know? Like, instead of, like, if we do order food, right? Like, instead of us getting something more authentic and more healthy, we'll get, like, McDonald's because it's, like, $20 to feed us for the night, you know? And that's bad. So I want to try to get to a point where I can just make something in the house and make it to a point where, like, it's quick and easier for me. Or it's less of a stressful process because I've perfected it, or at least gotten close to perfecting it. So that we can kind of eliminate that out of our lives. Because like I feel like us ordering out is a big problem, and it used to be a really, really bad problem. Yeah. You know, like we used to order food out every single day.
Sometimes
Multiple
I would do it
times.
multiple times a day.
Exactly.
Like lunch and dinner.
Yep, lunch and dinner
Yeah.
every single day for like a month.
I bet there was a time I did breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
There could have been. But it was, I just remember because it was like a month, and I remember looking back at our expenses for that month. I paid more money for food, like ordering, than I did for my bills that entire month, and that was crazy to me.
We've spent thousands before.
We spent thousands. I know.
Like rent, like someone's rent before
but
ordering.
We've also kind of gotten better, for sure.
We've gotten better. Yeah.
Like, we've had a little bit of a splurge every now and then, but for the most part, like, we either cook something at home or we make something quick at home.
Yeah.
I know I order out probably a lot more than you do, though, just because of my job. You know, like, because I work overnight, you know, if I usually don't get hungry until like maybe 1, 2 o'clock. Only things that are open at that time around here is McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are times where I'll just skip it. Like, I won't eat, and I'll wait till I get home and I'll eat something here, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's definitely a habit that I'm glad we broke. Like, we still order out, sure, but it's definitely not every single day. And when it does get to that point, we catch ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, like it was bad, guys. Like, I had to delete DoorDash off my phone.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I did not, I was going to order something because I was lazy.
It got addicting just to be able to press a few things on your phone and get it to your door in like a half hour. Like, of course I'm going to do that instead of getting up or going grocery shopping or cooking when I'm tired. So it
was also during the pandemic. So, like, going into a restaurant was, like, not happening anymore. People were going insane at the beginning of the pandemic by buying tons of groceries and filling up a bunker, you know. So, like, there was also a shortage on that stuff, too. It's definitely gotten better.
I did notice a factor was our sleeping pattern. If we were to sleep around dinner time, we were 5 times more likely to order.
Yeah, because we would
get up and just be like, order.
We'd take a nap at, like, 6 o'clock. Wake up at like 9 and then be like, oh, it's too late to cook. Oh, now we gotta order food, knowing good and damn well we were probably gonna order food anyways.
Yeah, that's why we're much better now. I think it's because we have more structure.
We have more structure, but it's also we have limited options.
Yeah.
Because at that point we were living in a city. We were living in Chicago. And for those who are from Chicago or know about Chicago, it is super diverse when it comes to food. And there is food everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we lived in the city. So, like, I mean...
Man, I miss it.
I miss it, too, because there was a lot to go, like, a lot to do. But as far as the food goes, like, we were, like, 2 blocks away from a bar, a pizza joint, which is Giordano's, which is, like, the best pizza in Chicago.
We were by, like, everything.
We were by a ramen shop, Tai Chi, which I think is still the best ramen that we've had.
And more, because we didn't even explore
There was a sushi shop. There was a Popeyes. There was so much.
There was a marshmallow place.
Yeah,
like,
there was a little marshmallow shop. There was so much in that small area. So, like, it was kind of weird to me, like, now that I'm thinking back to it. Like, there was so much that we could just walk to, and we just chose to stay home.
I know. We didn't take advantage of the opportunities that we had around
I think, like, if we were to ever... I don't really want to go back to the city. If we were to ever go back to that point, and we were just in a different place, because at that point, like, you were in school, I was in school, you were working, I were working. Like, we both had, like, our energy split.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of was a factor as far as, like, us getting out and exploring.
Definitely.
Because there were times where we definitely wanted to, like, get out, but then we're like, oh my God, I got work, you know, tomorrow, or, oh, it's my only day off. I want to sleep in, and that's fine. And it just sucked.
Yeah.
It just sucked for us. But I think, like, now that you're getting out of school soon, you know, woo woo. And me possibly starting school soon, depending on where we end up. I think we're definitely going to have a lot more time on our hands to explore if we were to be in that same space, you know?
Yes.
I don't really think I want to go back to Chicago, at least not to live.
Yeah.
Maybe to visit, but you know, it's kind of a shame that we missed out on that aspect of the city, but we still kind of reaped the benefits by eating the food. But again, positives or negatives. Like, yeah, we ate the food, but we also spent thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So,
Very true.
I'm glad that we are kind of in a better spot where we're more comfortable cooking, and even if we don't have the energy for it, we kind of discipline ourselves to do it still.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
yeah, and I mean, go ahead. You were gonna say something. Sorry.
No, I think we've done really really good at it. I really want to start meal prepping too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big thing I want to do because just those small times matter. Like when you're at work and you need lunch, or
Mm-hmm.
like I'm in between classes, I have nothing to eat, or like it's like late night time and there's nothing to eat, or those awkward gaps that you have.
Snack times.
Yeah, snack times and like those times where you have to fit in a meal, especially when you have a schedule like
Hi,
mine.
Milo.
Hi, Milo.
This is the gray one we were talking about.
Especially when you have a
That's my
schedule like
ankle.
mine, and you can only eat in certain periods of the day.
Yeah.
When I do have that period open to eat, there's nothing for me to grab
Yeah.
except for fast food or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, maybe we can definitely take some steps towards trying to meal prep and get better with food that we can eat like just regularly.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, we have like we do make sandwiches and we have hot dogs and we have quick stuff, and most of that stuff is at home.
Yeah.
So meal prepping, like, for example, next time I make rice, I can make a really big pot of rice, and prep that for the week or just a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's falling asleep.
He's listening to your meal prep plan.
He's falling asleep. He wants me to meal prep for him too. You already meal prep, buddy. Your food's about to pour soon. But
of course we had both animals featured
on the food episode.
On the food
fat
episode.
asses.
Food
You got
episode.
something to say, buddy?
Oh, it's catching them sniffing.
Yeah, he's sniffing it. All right.
Sniffing it.
But
2 fatties on the food episode. 4 fatties on the food episode.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like meal prepping is good. And we already have favorite dishes that we make for each other, right?
Yeah.
We just have to expand those. Like, for example, I really love your Buffy. I always say Buffy chicky, because I was gonna say Buffy chicky, because that's what we call it.
What's that?
We call it Buffy chicky pasta. It's buffalo chicken pasta. It was actually introduced to us by our friend Vince. We had a Friendsgiving years ago, and he made it, and it was really good. And ever since then, we've been obsessed with it. And there was one time where she was like, "I'm gonna make it. I just had to figure out how." And he sent us the ingredients, told us like, "Oh, this is what I do," and she kind of made it her own and perfected it on your own way. And it's my god, I love it. I love it so much.
That's what I want to continue to do. Find more staples like that.
Yeah.
That are quick and easy.
Yeah, so that when we have kids and stuff, if we have kids, we will probably. But, when we have kids and stuff, we have tradition.
Yeah.
We have stuff that we make in the household.
Yeah, so they can go to school and be like, "Oh, my mom's making spaghetti."
Yeah.
Or like,
well, not spaghetti.
Not spaghetti necessarily, but like her signature.
Yeah, she's making her signature pasta.
Yeah.
My dad's making his signature rice and stuff like that. That's definitely something I want our kids to experience, and I want us to experience too. Like I want you to be like, hey, coming home from work, hey, what's for dinner tonight? Oh, I'm making your favorite, and you get all giddy and excited.
Gnocchi.
Yeah. I don't know about gnocchi.
I love gnocchi. He made it for me once and then said never again because it was too much work.
So I made creamy gnocchi with grilled chicken. I think it's something and spinach. Like it was good.
Delicious.
However, when I looked at the recipe, I might have made it wrong. When I looked at the recipe, it said that it was gonna be like a 30-minute meal to make. It took me over an hour to make it.
But it was worth it.
For you, you didn't do anything. It was good. Okay. I think maybe if I had another go at it, and now that I have more experience with cooking in general, maybe it would be easier and it would actually be quicker. But man, it was so much work. And it also gave me a lot of anxiety too, because it's my first time cooking anything like that. So when I was looking at the consistency of the sauce and everything, I was like, is this how it's supposed to be? And it wasn't. the sauce is supposed to be creamier, but the sauce that I made it kind of stuck to it more. It was more like a thicker sauce. It was still good.
It was delicious.
You know, but it wasn't what it was supposed to be. But now that I have that experience, maybe I could give it another shot. It's just
you'll be quicker at it, probably.
I don't. It just took so much work, and I think part of like the reason I don't want to make it again is because of the work it took, but also the anxiety I had with it.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean,
traumatic experience.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, Buffy Chicky for you. I think one of my favorites that you made. You made ramen once, super good. You like slaved over that too. It took you a while to make it because I remember I
did
fell
while
asleep.
you were asleep.
I was asleep for like I want to say a good 2 hours.
I know for you it's your lemon pepper.
You like my lemon pepper?
Yeah.
I don't really feel like I do anything special with that though. I know
it's really good. It's really juicy.
I think that's just like I think it's because of how I cook it. Because I just bake it, right? So like I do the lemon pepper seasoning, of course, but I also put like I put some garlic powder, some onion powder on it, and then my secret is that I put oregano.
Yeah.
To make that flavor really pop, and then I also before I put any of the seasonings on, I get some olive oil and pour it over top of the chicken breast and like rub it in there. And then, you know, when the food's finally cooked and everything, there's still some oil and stuff at the bottom of the pan. I just pour right on top with a spoon. It's really good. You know, yeah, I based it. It's really good, but I don't feel like I do anything really special with it, but I'm glad that it's one of your favorite that I make.
Oh, yeah, it's one of my favorites.
I'm trying to think of what other... Yeah, I think for me, like, as of right now, it has to be buffalo chicken pasta and the ramen you made. Yeah. 'Cause that ramen was amazing.
I had to make it again.
And it wasn't even, like, complicated ingredients.
It wasn't at all. And it wasn't that... It actually wasn't even that hard or took that long. I think I was just really nervous.
I think that's part of it, you know?
But I feel like now if I tried it again, it'd be no big deal. Yeah. So yeah, I gotta make it again. Yeah,
it's good. So I'll make you some Johnny cakes, and you'll make me some
ramen.
Some ramen. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that it's about the end of this episode, right?
Yeah, of our food talk.
We went everywhere with it. You know, we talked about our culture. We talked about different things we like, stuff how our palates have changed. So
how they continue to change.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun talking about this. I'm a fat ass. I know Milo liked it too.
Milo loves it too.
He's slightly awake, staring at me. But yeah, we gotta enjoy our dinner because it's been sitting here. But yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Catch you guys on the next episode. Yeah. Anything else? Any closing thoughts?
Nope, that was it.
All right. Well, we're done.
Bye.
Adios.